Hello guys, welcome back to the Gear Shed. Got another little review for you. This time I'm going to review the glow tube. This one's in white. So, my never-ending fetish with things that illuminate kind of slid across into these little marker lights and trying to use them as essentially as a little lightweight lantern. So this glow tube here, this is primarily, it essentially comes from the dive marker. It's like an underwater dive marker that you can put onto your flotation vest or your your rig, and allows you to be seen underwater. So it's fairly bright, it's very robust, it's waterproof to 200 feet, and there is I think the manufacturer is saying that they dropped one at the bottom of the sea and it was okay, a year later or something like that. I mean, I could probably believe it. It's pretty bomb proof. There's not a lot of places water can get in. It just has one seal at the bottom. So essentially it runs on a AAA battery. So we'll just take the end cap off here. So a little AAA battery in the bottom. This is the original battery it came with. Good old Energizer Alky Leaks. Has a big Buteo ring seal there, and the cap itself on the back here is also the switch. So it's got 3 light settings. So you have bright full on, and that's supposed to give you about a 4-hour runtime. You twist it off and twist it back on again. It gives you a low setting, supposed to be 15 hours, and then a epileptic inducing strobe. So watch out. Oh, no, you waited too long. Like that. So also it's those switch wires. It's not a memory switch. It always goes, if you turn it off and cycle through them like that, it goes through all the settings. Turn it on and turn it off again and wait. It goes back to what it was, and you have to run through all 3 again. It's a fairly stiff switch, so it's not going to turn on in your pocket or anywhere like that. That's mainly to do with that big fat O-ring in there doing all the work. Now you can see it's basically, you can make that out in the camera. There's basically a series of LED dies at the top here. It's about 4 of them around in a ring, and they basically fire light down into it's kind of, I think it's a polished piece of plastic or aluminium or something like that gives you the spread of the light, so it fires out in all directions. So it's 360 right around like that. Now, I was looking at this as a sort of super lightweight lantern. I mean, it's basically 34 grams as it is there. You can get little accessories for it, like this one here is a little clip that this allows us to clip to something, and then it has a, let's just turn that off. It's a fairly robust clip. Just turn it off so you can see. And it just has like a belt clip on it. It does turn, but I did find out, the other day, it comes off. Just a bayonet fit. I thought it was like a 360 degree clip, but if you turn it sideways, it will actually come out of the slot. So bear that in mind. So yeah, I was looking at for this as a lantern. It doesn't work that well as a lantern. It will give you some area light, and if you put it up above your head and you tend to something, it will light up a little bit. It's primarily used as a marker, essentially. Probably the other downside I find with this is at full power you're getting supposedly about 4 hours. Okay, that's going to vary depending on which battery you put on it. The next setting, which was what I was most interested in, is a 15-hour setting, which is the low. And if you look carefully, you'll probably be able to see the pulsing or the flashing, the lines going through the camera, and the camera's picking it up, and that's pulse width metering. So basically, to get an LED, a cheap way of getting an LED to seem to be dimmer is to rapidly cycle it on and off, and because of the way our eyes work, our eyes perceive that as being dimmer and not flashing on and off. Now there's different frequencies of this pulse width metering, this flashing on and off. Some are more detectable than others, and also some people are more susceptible to others. And I've found over the course of my journey in LED torches and flashlights and stuff, and headlamps, that I'm reasonably susceptible to pulse width metering. And this guy here has actually quite a bad frequency on the low. Not so much that I can actually see it, but I can notice its effect, if that makes any sense. If you look at the light, it kind of reminds me of an old, Russian fluorescent tube type of feel. That has that funny, harsh light. And what it also means is when you're moving around near it, because of the flashing, it causes you to see like you're in a strobe effect. So if you move your hand too quickly around the place, you get that strobe effect, and it's quite off-putting. And not that pleasant really to actually use. So it was a little bit of a letdown with that, because I was hoping, because people were saying yes, it did have pulse width metering and that it was a bit severe, and I thought I was going to get away with it, but definitely not. As you can see, it's quite a good flickering going on there. So that kind of ruins it a little bit for me for what I was going to use it for. Not all is not lost though, because I do use it running in the mornings in the winter time. Sticking it on the, when it gets to it, it's not even going to do it. There we go, the strobe, full-on strobe, which is actually quite good, so sticking it on its little holder and stick it on my belt in the front. Now you can get these in different colors. I've got the white one hoping it was going to be a lantern. It didn't really work out that way. So it's a little bit of a get down. But yeah, basically these are a marker light, essentially, a marker light. So don't think it's going to work as a lantern. It's not really going to give you any light in which you can move with. It's not going to be putting out enough light that you could say walk with or run with or anything like that. Okay intent on high, but then you're getting in quite low run times. You're looking 4 hours on a single AAA battery, so it's not very efficient, put it that way. And there's other things around, like if you look at my other reviews, the HL10 Phoenix headlamp, that's higher efficiency. It might not be quite as bright, but it's got longer run times and doesn't have the pulse width metering, which is a bit of a pain. So yeah, would I buy another one? No, probably not. Not even probably that comes in a host of colors: blue, red, amber. Don't really have a use for it. I was hoping it was going to work out as being an okay sort of lightweight lantern. I'd leave this plastic thing at home and just take this. But no, it's not really going to work. So yeah, just think about that. It is a primary marker light. So yeah, if you're running on the road in the morning, early hours of the morning or late at night or something, and you want to have a marker that's going to flash and be pretty good. I mean, they're pretty cheap. They're only like a £10.95, I think. So not going to break the bank. Easily located AAA battery. If you're in a dive, you can just pull it out of your remote control. So it's not got any super duper batteries that you have to worry about. They do a couple of other versions with sort of primary lithium batteries that are a little bit hard to come by, like the A23 or something like that. So I'd steer clear of that and stick with this for what it needs to do. If you put a lithium battery in there, you're not going to have any problems with it leaking and like that, and it'll have a huge long shelf life. So if you wanted to leave it as a emergency thing in your car or something like that, it's not going to be a problem with that. You can just throw lithium in and it'll be fine. Alrighty, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of an insight into it. Other than that, like the concept, they could take it a bit further and make it a lot more useful, but that's probably not going to happen. Alrighty, so yeah, comments in the comments box. Remember to subscribe, and I will see you next time.